Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. We are back with a quarter two update. It is July 10th. It's a great day outside, and I loved the vibe of the first quarter update where I was outside in the Toyota parking lot, and so I thought I would find another parking lot to photograph. Another parking lot to do quarter two. So let's talk about quarter two. First up, how are we doing? How are you doing? How am I doing? I'm doing great. I went through a phase for a lot of this quarter of hating photography and really not knowing where to go next, not knowing what else I should be doing. And I'm coming out of that and falling back in love with photography and looking at it from a whole different lens. I have done this quarter. This quarter was January, February, March, April, May, and June. So between April, May, and June, I feel like this quarter has gone by so quickly. I really cannot tell you how fast this quarter felt. I woke up today and I was like, it's the second quarter is over. I was doing my budget and I was like, it's quarter three. July is quarter three. So there's that. This has been a really fast-paced quarter. We are 6 months into the year, halfway through the year. This is a huge milestone for us. So give yourself a pat on the back for working on the same thing for 3 months, progressing for the past 3 months, progressing for the past 6 months, and then planning to progress for the next 3 months, for the next quarter. This quarter three, July, August, and September. This quarter, I got my first ever magazine cover, which is amazing. I have always wanted my image on the cover of a magazine, inside of a magazine, just printed in a magazine. And I never thought it would happen this year with images that I never intended on publishing. It was just a very universe did this. I didn't really do anything kind of shoot. And it was crazy because someone on the team at the shoot was like, if you submit these to a magazine, just let us know. And I thought they were being sarcastic, but I was like, okay, actually I'm going to submit these to a magazine and see what happens. And the crazy thing about that is 2 magazines reached out to me on Instagram. So it was almost like I just really didn't do anything. And if you're into human design, I'm a projector. So that explains that. What else has happened this quarter? I got products. And I got products to sell to clients. I got products for people, for consumers. I got a metal print, a 20 by 28 metal print. I got a 20 by 28 framed print. I got a folio box, my first ever folio box, which is so heavy, but so beautiful and so worth it. I love folio boxes. They're heavy though. They're heavy. They're cute, but they're heavy. I also got this cool trifold product that I think is so adorable, especially for couples. I also got an album of David, my cousin in the Bronx. I really love these images and I love him. He's so cute. I don't know. I'd never seen my images printed this way. I don't actually think I'd never seen my images printed this large and in this way where they were wrapped really nicely. They were packaged so meticulously. It was like they were the most valuable thing in the world. And for me, that really changed just how I view photography, how I view it as an art form, how to talk to clients about it too, because photography feels like, you know, in the collective, photography feels like such an easy thing to do that it's not really a commodity, but it is such a valuable form of art. It's really the only thing we have that captures reality as it is. And I just am so thankful to be in this art form, to be in love with this art form. Another thing that I've done during this quarter is I've been able to compartmentalize photography from my full-time job, photography for consumers, photography for passion, photography, education. I've been able to really organize where all of these ambitions and goals and aspects of my career fit into my daily life, which has been a huge blessing. And it's given me a perspective that feels reassuring that I can actually excel in all of these areas. It's a matter of how much time, how much energy, when to put energy into certain projects, when to put energy into one of these goals, aspirations, and career fields. What's my hair doing? You know, I'm a Leo, so we've got to have our hair looking good. Those have been the highlights of the second quarter for me. It's been a good quarter. It's gone by fast. A lot of things have changed. There's been a lot of change for me in relation to photography that was so needed, and I'm so happy that these changes were made. As far as favorite shoots, favorite images, these images of this couple, Clemence, and Jeff, I really loved photographing them. This was the first couple I had dedicated a photo shoot to. I'd shot couples before, but this was the first shoot where I planned out the lighting, I planned out the colors, and I rented a studio for this, and I really wanted these images to turn out beautifully, and they did, and I'm so grateful. I loved working with these two, just completely beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. And oh my God, another accomplishment is I actually found a retoucher that I can consistently work with. And I'm creating a video on what my experiences has been like finding a retoucher, working with retouchers, not liking what the retoucher has done, giving feedback to retouchers, and the positive sides of working with retouchers. But that is another thing that's happened this quarter that has really made me feel grounded and settled in photography, because I do not want to edit 100% of my images anymore. I really want to get better at the people part, the business part for now, and maybe forever, because who gives up a really good retoucher? I really don't know. It's not going to be me. This was also the first shoot where I sent the full set of images to one retoucher, got them back, was really satisfied with them. I did retouch all of the couple images from this session, but the individual shots of just Clemence, I sent them to a retoucher, got them back. I love it. If you can hire a retoucher, get one, get a good one, work with them, keep them, give them feedback, whatever. Okay, but that's not what this video is about. But yeah, this shoot was amazing. I had done a new lighting setup for this shoot. I just used one light above, just one light overhead with an umbrella, with Octabox. And it was a few feet, a few inches, maybe I'm getting inches and feet mixed up, like 2 feet in front of Clem and Jeff, and then a silver reflector on the bottom. So kind of like quasi clamshell, not really. And I also shot them underexposed, which gave me that really beautiful grainy look, which to me makes them look so classy, so good. I also love the color grading I did on these. I love the monochromatic vibe. Yeah, these are my favorite images. I just love them. I loved this shoot, and I cannot wait to shoot more couples. I love shooting couples. I love love. I love photographing love. And that's definitely something that I have added to my portfolio to sell to people. a few things that I've learned during quarter two is to prioritize. Like, do I want to go full-fledged in my business? Do I want to go full-fledged in photography education? Where does my full-time job fit into this scenario? I've really learned to organize, prioritize, and get efficient with how I work on my photography business and how I utilize the little time I have to make big strides. Something else I've learned is sales tactics. Quarter one, I was really struggling with understanding sales, understanding how I fit into sales, and now it's making more sense. Now that I know I have to sell my work, I have to sell my products, I'm finding this new sense of authenticity that is going to make it easier for me to sell, because the last thing I want to do is talk about, share, sell something that's not authentic to me. I want me and my business to be as easy as possible. And the best way to do that is to be as truthful about who I am and what I stand for. Because, look, I want to make money and I don't want to try. Okay, I want it to be easy. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be heart-centered. I do not want this to be, I don't. That is like a thing I will not do. So that's a lesson I'm learning. I'm reading a great book right now called, what's it called? It's also like, I don't know, like 98 degrees outside right now. This book, Building Your Story Brand or Story Brand, it's given me a new perspective on how to like formulate my messages for my brand, how to even present my brand, how to present myself. It's really interesting. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of like doing a complete 180 from what I've been doing for the past nearly 6 years. And it's just been, I've just been wrapping my brain around what this all means. Something else I've learned is that community is a big thing. Like, community is huge. And when I lived in New York, I never fully understood how large of a community I was in and what that community meant for my photography career. When I lived in New York, I worked very closely with a modeling agency and worked almost exclusively with their models, creating their portfolios, and exclusively worked with specific makeup artists. And oh my God, is there a bead of sweat going down my face? And I never really fully appreciated or understood what that meant and how big of a deal that was to have that community for my photography. So what I've learned, so like a huge thing that I'm learning now in Austin is that building that community, those go-tos, is super important, is very, very valuable, because, you know, as much as it used to pay me to say this, photography is not a solo art form. Like, it's really not. I don't actually think any art form is solo. I think for any art form, there needs to be a community aspect, because like, who's actually going to look at your art? You? Community is important. Moral of the story. Something else I've learned, it's very windy. It feels really nice, even though it's hot wind. It's like on a hot day and then getting sprayed with hot water. You're like, nice. Thank you. Something else I've learned in quarter two is in that community, asking people what would be valuable to them, and also unearthing my own experience as a social media manager, my own experience as a photographer who retouches her own photos, who used to style her own photos, who used to do the makeup for the photos. I never put two and two together of how valuable those skills are and how I can share those skills with other people so that other photographers can create their visions before they get to a point where they're working with makeup artists, working with stylists, or hiring a social media manager, hiring a retoucher. Because I will say that being a photographer to start out, it's all you. It's all you. It's all you. It's all you. I believe those are all the questions. Unfortunately, I wrote out my script, or at least the outline of the script, in Google Docs, and then left my laptop. I don't have Google Docs on my phone. I don't have enough space to even download Google Docs on my phone. So we're just winging it here. That leads me into, what do I plan to work on in Q3? What I plan to work on in Q3 is honing my style. That has been front of mind for the past few weeks, especially when I was going through, I hate photography. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was having a beef with my camera, a beef with all of my work, because I really was confused I was just like having an existential crisis. And now that I'm on the other side of this, I really want to hone my style. I want to hone what I'm known for. I want to find what it is about my work that's so unique and so special that when people look at it, they know it's my work. So that's what I'm going to be working on in Q3, or at least that's what's going to be front and center of my mind in Q3. I do believe this is going to take me months, years to actually nail down, but I have the intention to actually begin honing my style in Q3. What else am I working on in Q3? Looking at other people's styles, understanding what makes other people's style their style, especially when it comes to other art forms like painting, sculptures, whatever else, really whatever else. Right now, I'm really drawn to painted portraits, especially famous painted portraits, like the Mona Lisa, Girl with the Pearl Earring, The Last Supper. What is it about those art pieces that made them stand the test of time, that make them so valuable to this day? Because I honestly have no idea. I don't know. I'm learning, and I'm going to understand what it is about those pieces that make them so special. And contemporary photographers now, looking at their work and just studying what their style is, what is it about their photos, about their post-processing, about their lighting, about their color choice, about their angles, that when I look at these images, I know who they belong to. So that's what I'll be working on for Q3. Am I going to be working on anything else in Q3? Probably sales, always marketing, always honing the message around why my photography and why my photo products are so valuable that I can sustain myself and sustain my family off of selling my work, off of selling my services. And community, really getting comfortable with all of these new aspects of my photography business, these new aspects of my identity that at the beginning of this year, even last year, we're still uncomfortable. We're still, the seeds were planted, but they weren't really growing. And now it kind of feels like I'm almost to the surface and the sun is almost beaming down on, my little stem. That's kind of how this feels right now. So that's the Q2 update. I believe this is short and sweet. Okay, it's been 22 minutes. Okay, it's not short and sweet. This felt like it went by extremely quickly. I would love to know how your quarter two went. What did you learn? How are you? What did you learn? What was your favorite shoot? What are you going to work on in Q3? I would love to know how your quarter two went. Please comment below, DM me, message me. I am booking one-on-ones if you have any questions with lighting, retouching, preparing a photo shoot, scheduling a photo shoot, setting up your home studio. Oh my God. One other huge accomplishment. Okay, this cannot go unsaid. I helped first of all, oh my God. A few other great things that have happened in Q2 is I taught how many courses did I teach? I taught 3 courses. I taught 3 courses in Q2. I taught a retouching brown skin course. I taught a color grading course. And I taught a how to use Facebook Business Suite so that you can schedule your Facebook and Instagram content all at once, schedule it out, spend less time on social media, more time on photography. I taught 3 courses, and that is insane to me because this time last year, I was like, maybe I could teach a course. And like 2 years ago, I was posting videos on TikTok, so nervous and uncomfortable and like wondering why I was even doing this or what called me to do it. And maybe that was last year I was sharing on TikTok. Either way, whenever that was, I taught 3 courses this quarter, in quarter 2. I also helped my first in-person photography student set up her home studio. She was struggling to get her strobes to work, to be symbiotic, to work together, and I helped her set up her home studio. I helped her get those lights to work. I helped her set up the lighting for a shoot she was doing in her studio with a model. And that was really crazy to me because a lot of the time we don't know how much we know until we're asked to share what we know. And I didn't know that I knew so much until I was in this woman's apartment, helping her set up her studio, talking to her about, the lights and, what certain buttons do, what certain things mean, talking to her about light modifiers for the light, talking to her about angles, talking to her about inverse square theory, talking to her about posing, talking to her about skin tone, talking to her about how to change the settings on her camera manually, ISO, aperture, shutter speed, exposure. I just really didn't know I knew all of those things until I was helping this woman. And it felt so good to be able to get her to the other side of what she needed. And that was one of the biggest highlights from Q2 was that. That wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. May your best intentions manifest, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Yeah.